Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to News Hour live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. We are also live on GTV and streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Micheline Taka. You most welcome. One person is reported dead following an armed robbery attack on a VIP passenger bus traveling from Kumasi through Tamale to Bolga, Tanga. The robbers on Friday dawn attacked the VIP bus that was moving ahead of an OA bus in the Waliwali township in the northeast region. Most people on board the bus who were wounded were taken to the Waliwali hospital for treatment. The Municipal Police Command dispatched police personnel to the scene to move the passengers to the police station. A passenger narrated that as the car was moving, they suddenly heard gunshots and the bus stopped. The armed robbers fired gunshots into the bus, killing one woman instantly and injuring many others. In Accra, the government has begun disbursement of funds to the National Food Suppliers Association. Members of the association who had supplied food items to second cycle institutions under the free SHS program have not been paid since 2021. For some weeks now, the members of the association have been picketing at the offices of the National Buffer Food Stock Company, compelling Parliament to summon the ministers responsible for education, food and agriculture and finance to brief members on steps being taken to pay the food suppliers. GBC News will bring you up to date on this development in our subsequent bulletins. Ghana has less than a year and a half to meet the deadline of achieving a 10 million ton reduction in carbon emission set out in an agreement with the World Bank. The country stands to benefit from a $50 million grant if the target is met. When the country reduced its carbon emissions by 972,456 tons between July and December 2019, the first year of implementation of the agreement, the World Bank released the first tranche of $4.8 million. A ceremony has been held in the Ashanti region to formally disperse the money to participating groups, including cocoa farmers, as incentives to help meet the ultimate target. In 2019, Ghana's subscription to the World Bank's Trust Fund for the Reduction in Emission from Deforestation and Degradation was launched and fully implemented with a target to reduce 10 million tons of carbon dioxide emission by the end of 2024. Ghana stands the chance to access a $50 million grant under the initiative known as the Ghana Cocoa Forest Red Plus program. This is to be achieved by preserving and protecting 6 million hectares of the country's forest cover by addressing factors leading to deforestation and environmental degradation. The program is being implemented in 7 regions and 19 districts zoned into 5 hotspots intervention areas with about 241,000 cocoa farmers participating. Mr. Nicholas Nkrumah, a member of the Hotspot Intervention Area Management Board, said the initiative will improve cocoa production in Ghana. The program has a monitoring and evaluation mechanism to assess progress made by individuals, community and districts at 4 scheduled periods. The first assessment for the period of June to December 2019, the country reduced 972,456 tons of carbon dioxide and therefore qualified for the first tranche of $4.8 million. At a ceremony to officially disperse the amount to all parties, an official from the Climate Change Department of the Forestry Commission, Madame Roselyn J, assured of transparency in the process. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osei Mensah, asked the beneficiary district assemblies to use the funds judiciously. A senior environmental specialist of the World Bank, Ms. Dashani Da Silva, who is also in charge of the Ghana Emission Reduction Program, said, Ghana is one of 15 countries in Africa to sign onto the agreement and one of 2 countries, including Mozambique, to have accessed the funds so far.
Ghana is eligible to receive up to $50 million for 10 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions reduced by end of 2024 within a 6 million hectare stretch of the West Africa Guinea forest, where biodiversity and forests are under pressure from cocoa farming and unsustainable timber harvesting, as well as small-scale mining.
A Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Benito Owusu-Bio, said Ghana is expected to receive additional funds after evaluation of performance for the year 2020 and 2021 and 2021 and 2022.
We need such increased actions to help the attainment of the 10 million tons of emission reductions signed under this program, and even for other programs in other parts of Ghana's forest landscape, to attract large-scale carbon and climate financing.
COCOBOD, the Forestry Commission, World Bank and district assemblies are key partners in the implementation of the program. The Road Contractors Association of Ghana is asking the government to pay all outstanding arrears owed them, as payment has been long overdue. The association has government owes road contractors to the tune of 16 billion cedis for projects executed, including Cocoa Roads. The association's national vice chairperson, Mr. Samuel Atachi, has joined us in the studio now to tell us more. Good afternoon, sir. Did I miss your name?
Yeah, that's Stephen.
You are Stephen. Well noted. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us today. Yeah. What are your demands, basically?
Yeah, well, work done need to be paid to the contractors. We have executed a job. Some are 4 years, 12 years, 6 years. We are not paid.
Why is that?
I mean, no money syndrome.
Whoa. So when you meet the government officials assigned to this, the payment of your monies, they come to tell you no money, or no, what exactly have they been saying?
Yeah, initially we think we can jojo. So they came out with some way of coming to meet us. The first move they've done was to pay 50% of whatever they owe the contractor. So we thought when you have about 10, 2, 3, 4 certificate in the road industry, it's not like building. So if you do some percentage, you can raise the certificate. And not knowing, they pick only one of a lot you have there, and they pay 50%, which was, I mean, just like a teaspoon of salt you are putting in the sea to test it and see whether the salt has gone into it. And you can't get anything. That one is gone. Then you reach a time to, they say, okay, now they are paying from, 0% to 99 Ghana cedi. I mean, we have a class, So that one, they've not finished. They pay some few guys, few contractors, it was not finished. Then after that, they say when they finish, they started from 1 million and above. Now, as for the 1 million and above, up to today, nothing was I mean,
has been
done
paid
and
so
paid
far.
about that one. Because that 16 billion, Cocoa Board, I mean, that's the Cocoa Road. Then we have a road fund and GOG. If you bring all together, it sum up to that. And if you remember, it was beginning of this year, they say the Cocoa Board, they pay some people. You will be shocked. You owe people, I mean, then you pay 20% out of that amount. Let's assume the financial houses we have gone to pick loan, because it is not pre-finance. We have to fund the whole project. Such a thing, the bankers has given us 60%. So when you pay 20%, to me, it's an insult to the contractors. It's an insult.
But what is the initial agreement with the government like?
The initial agreement, when you present your bill, that's 90 days, 3 months. They have to
And
pay
3
you 3
months. And how long have you waited?
We waited. I mean, some certificates are from 2017 up to now. And even before this government coming in, he promised with the contractors they will pay us 100 days when they come or whatever, because construction is a process. This government will start some of the projects, this government will continue. It goes like that. So you cannot say government A has given you the job, so the government A should come and pay you. No. We are not working with Fino. We are working with government of Ghana. So that is the whole thing, like a joke, 2 years, like a joke, 3 years, like a joke,
4 years.
6 or 7 years now.
So, clear cut, what are you demanding from the government now?
The payment.
Failure to do so means what?
That one I won't disclose it. And that will be our weapon, so I won't disclose it.
Very well.
Yes.
So you're sending a clear-cut message to the government to pay you. Otherwise, they will hear from a secret you will not reveal now.
No, I won't reveal
until
it.
then.
Yeah, no, I won't reveal it.
Message well sent. Thank you very much for
You are welcome.
passing
You
through.
are
Any
welcome.
other thing you'd like to add?
Oh yes, what I want to talk about is that road industry is for mature people. It's a capital intensive venture. And since it's a capital incentive venture, it looks like they are joking with us. Look, from the 2017 up to now, over 40 contractors has lost their life. Ask me talking to you. If I show you my picture, you see my leg. I mean, I fell sick almost 1.5 years ago. Why? Because look, my sister, have you owed before? And even the old, you borrow money, you no, not all that. This kind of, maybe you take some 20 from your friend. You owe the bank, you own the financial house. They will be on you when you are sleeping. You cannot sleep. I mean,
the stress is just too
people
much.
are just dying. People are dying because when I feel, where do I get the money to buy my medication? And this age, all of us, we are having a BP filling station. Do you know a BP filling station?
No, educate
Oh, I see.
me.
Formerly, as we have a Goil, we have a BP, that British Petroleum Company. So BP station, you get a high pressure. So now all the
Let's
contractors
pray it
are
doesn't get there for you.
Oh no, but I mean, you can't touch it. All the contractors are having a BP filling station now.
Which shouldn't be so.
Shouldn't be so.
Unfortunately, it is so. Thank you so much for passing through.
You are welcome.
Grateful for your time. I have been speaking with Mr. Stephen Atachi. He is the Road Contractors Association National Vice Chairman. Thank you very much for joining us. In other stories, the High Court in Accra has awarded cost of 6,000 Ghana cedis against Madame Deborah Adabla, the young woman who has sued the former chief finance officer of the First Atlantic Bank. The cost was awarded in favor of the bank after the court, presided over by Justice Olivia Obing Owusu, withdrew the bank's name from the case on Friday, July 21, 2022. First Atlantic Bank filed a motion against the court to strike out its name from the lawsuit filed by the former NSS personnel because it had no knowledge of the matter.
First Atlantic Bank filed an application on January 24, 2023, asking the court to dismiss 7 paragraphs from the writ filed by Deborah Seiram Adabla. The bank claims the writ does not disclose any reasonable course of action against the bank. Per the application, the said paragraphs comprise portions of the writ that accuse the bank of looking on while female workers get harassed sexually by senior male officials of the bank. Presiding Justice Olivia Obeng-Owusu on February 16 directed the parties to file their written submission. However, in court on Thursday, March 23, 2023, counsel for the plaintiff, Mohammed Atta, told the court they filed their written submission on March 21, 2023. Madam Amma Opoku-Amponsah, lawyer for the first respondent, Ernest Kwesi-Nimako, while confirming receipt of service from the plaintiff, told the court they intend filing a supplementary affidavit to their submissions. Meanwhile, lawyers for First Atlantic Bank told the courts that they are yet to be served with the written submissions from Ms. Seiram Adabla. Justice Olivia Obeng-Owusu subsequently ordered service on the bank by lawyers of the plaintiff. The substantive case in which the former national service person is alleging sexual harassment will be heard after hearing the current application by the bank. Deborah Seiram Adabla sued.
It is a medical condition where a baby is born with one foot of feet rotated inward with the sole of the foot facing backwards. Health experts say club foot is caused by a shortened Achilles tendon, which causes the foot to turn in and under. Baby boys are twice likely to have club foot compared to baby girls. Treatment, however, is highly successful, especially when the process starts early. Here in Ghana, the Christian Health Association, the second largest health service provider with support from an international NGO, provide free treatment to this congenital malformation. Deputy Executive Director of CHAG, Dr. James Dua, is advocating for club foot treatment to be covered by the National Health Insurance Scheme so that more children with the disease can receive early treatment.
Clubfoot is a birth defect in which one or both feet of a baby is or are twisted inwards and downwards. Babies with this condition are born with the foot rotated inward so that the sole faces sideways or even up. Each year, up to 200,000 babies across the globe are born with clubfoot. In Ghana, about 1,000 babies are born annually with this deformity. These statistics make clubfoot one of the most congenital disabilities in the world.
It's quite common in this country. Unfortunately, the sad part of it is that many people think that there's no treatment. And so they leave children and they grow with it, they become deformed to the point where you can't do anything about it.
Because the cause is largely unknown, the condition is considered a curse, with beliefs that such babies are river or dove babies. These beliefs and stigma associated with the deformity force families with babies with the condition to either hide the babies, not seek medical assistance, or even abandon them at birth. The good news is clubfoot is treatable. Data from the Christian Health Association of Ghana, CHAG, the second largest health service provider in Ghana, shows that about 8,000 children have received treatment since 2008 free of charge. CHAG believes when the cost of treatment of clubfoot is absorbed by the NHRS, parents of such children will seek early treatment.
If we do include it in the benefit package of the National Health Insurance, I don't think it will cost us a lot. We would rather be solving a lot of problems in this country. I guess this will also reduce the level of stigma, because then the more the services are paid for by insurance, the more people will send their children with side effect to hospitals, get treatment.
The most popular method for clubfoot treatment is stretching and casting, referred to as Ponsati. After the 5th cast, a minor surgical procedure is done to lengthen the Achilles tendon, and the baby is placed in one last cast for 2 to 3 weeks. The next stage is the maintenance stage, where the child wears a foot abduction brace to achieve correction until age 5. When left untreated, clubfoot affects the mobility of a person. Every child deserves a chance to walk. Soyokwo Kwakutra, GBC News, Accra.
Renowned Islamic scholar and motivational speaker Sheikh Mufti Menk is in Ghana for a peace and unity convention. His itinerary includes attending Muslim prayers in Accra and Kumasi, and also to meet up with some Muslim faithful. The Zimbabwe-born cleric is named one of the 500 most influential Muslims in the world, with 10 million followers on Twitter, where he shares his over 20 years of counseling experience to enlighten people from all walks of life on religion, family, emotional and financial issues. Sheikh Mufti Menk, who was on GTV Breakfast on Friday to speak about his journey and motivations.
In Ghana about 4 times before, also for conferences and conventions, but this time it's slightly different because the Peace and Unity Convention that started off in Nigeria has taken shape in its expansion, and it's now in a few other countries, starting with Ghana. One of the things I find today is a religion that is spreading to a degree is no religion, which means my religion is that I don't believe in any religions. That's what they're saying right now. And what's happening is sometimes they're getting to such a level of absurdity in some things and trying to actually bring it through to make us look like we are primitive in what we've been teaching for the last millions of years. All Semitic faiths, starting from Adam. If you talk to the Jews or the Christians or the Muslims or those Semitic faiths, they will all have some similar stories and similar commandments and similar values and morals. And then you have a whole new system that's trying to tell you all of you guys are actually primitive, which is, it makes it interesting for us because navigating through trying to respect those people with disagreement and trying to ensure the peace and harmony and stability, yet disagreeing. It's something very interesting. When a person disagrees and when a person is intolerant in a more respectful way, it's good to engage them sometimes. It's good to actually get to learn why they're saying what they're saying, what is the backing of it. And sometimes, like I said, with disagreement, we may finally say, oh, I finally understand why this person is saying this. And what I've learned from social media is you don't need to worry about everyone who actually hates on you, because there's a large chunk of people who would hate on you simply because of their weakness, not because of the weakness of what you're saying. Let's learn to live together on earth in harmony and nod our heads. If I see you or you see me, the minimum is there's respect, because now we've taught the right things, and wherever there is extremism or wherever something needs to be addressed, we would address it.
A 2-day session organized for Accra High Senior School final year students to prepare them better for their WAEC examination has ended. The class was spearheaded and facilitated by the Community Education and Youth Development Directorate of the National Commission on Culture. It is to help the students excel in their general knowledge in arts examinations.
The students were tasked to do imaginative drawing. Objective of this activity was to help students form a conscious idea by putting thoughts together and bringing them to life, and by so doing, creating artworks on paper. While performing the task, the facilitators and resource persons from Community Education and Youth Development Directorate CEYD and GES supervised and assisted the students. The students were also put into 8 groups with 20 students each, tasked to do still life drawing, where students were asked to draw their observations. The purpose was for students to observe and represent what they see from their point of view. 2 resource persons from GES took the students through a short talk on fabric designing, wall hanging, and calligraphy writing with visual demonstrations. An examiner from GES gave a brief talk on what is expected of the students during the WASSCE with regards to the topics discussed.
We realized one fault, which is the figure drawing is becoming a problem in general. This year, they are just about to write, but our future plans are maybe to move to other schools or come here again. We help them to pass. They are kids, and art is life, so we must continue to teach.
Some of the students shared the observations with GBC News.
There's a lot of opportunities that comes in visual arts, and I'm offering this course because I'm able to express myself more with the work of art.
We've learned how to do calligraphy work, how to paint well, and then how to do background design.
The director of the Community Education and Youth Development Directorate, Dr. Akosua Abdallah, encouraged the students to keep practicing and learning what they were taught during the session. She wished them well in the upcoming examination. 56-year-old first runner-up at the 2022 National Farmers' Day event, Mr. Seth Ejay Fosu, a mixed farmer based in Kintampo South District of the Bono East region, is suggesting to the government to shift its attention from providing farmers with subsidized farm input to providing ready markets for their farm produce. In an interview with GBC News, Mr. Ejay Fosu said the government should use its purchasing power to create markets for the country's local produce. He believes this will not only help expand the country's local production in the agriculture and industrial sectors, among other areas, but also help export bill. Our Bono East regional correspondent, Samuel Ayama, has more.
Reactions are mixed among farmers in the Bono East region and the country at large about the area government should focus its attention to make farming attractive. These include ready market, subsidized farm inputs, storage facilities, interest-free loans, irrigation facilities, among others. In the Bono East region, many farmers, including poultry farmers, are struggling to stay in business due to the high cost of poultry feed. And it is the same with tomato farmers. Speaking with GBC News, the 2022 first runner-up at the National Farmers' Day, Mr. Seth Ejay Fosu, who has 300 acres of mango, appealed to government to shift focus from only cocoa.
Government deni cocoa. Now so, yeah, buru isi anu mi utumuse udi amango na ye kama. Amango kranso would the bus out toward there, but bia we be kama. Nti government man ani mra mango hu. Enkwanka cocoa hu. Mr.
Ejay Fosu told the news team that he has 510 acres of cashew, 20 acres of cocoa, and 15 acres of coconut. Mr. Ejay Fosu is also into fish farming. Currently, his fish ponds have 7,200 species of catfish and 5,400 tilapia respectively.
Beza ubaya mekafe kashu nipa dodo omuguase omosisa sa nipa wenyina didi free kuadwuma ndi kuadwuma de mimi jira han meka se ayadwuma esombo.
The 2022 first runner-up farmer, who also has 210 cows, describes farming as pure business. The 2009 National Best Tomato Farmer said farmers are in dire need of a ready market and not subsidized farm inputs.
Subsidy in government in Yano na nudi and your da one fanto. Me feel say will be a business. I will be a cordon brown him say me do bruno etimi come and go me baby me de kwa amomato.
The award-winning farmer, who is also into poultry farming, has over 3,000 birds. He stressed that government must prioritize and especially promote the local poultry industry, says the Agriculture Ministry must its duty bound to bridge the gap by creating an enabling environment for poultry farming to thrive. He called for cold stores and entities in the poultry supply chain to prioritize local poultry products. On job creation for the teeming unemployed youth, he said making the agriculture attractive would automatically create jobs for them. Samuel Ayama, GBC News, Amoma.
The Ashanti Regional Office of the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, has safely disposed of at least 200 metric tons of assorted and wholesome products at the Kumasi Compost and Recycling Plant. The products, which were seized within the first half of the year, included allopathic and herbal drugs, household chemical substances, medical devices, cosmetic products and food products. The authority is also responsible under Section 132 of the Public Health Act 2012 to supervise the safe disposal of unwholesome regulated products, including substandard falsified products. The products were seized during the authority's routine rigorous market surveillance activities at the various sale outlets such as pharmacies and herbal shops, over-the-counter medicine shops, herbal clinics, information centers, provision shops, cold stores, medical device shops, shopping malls, and cosmetic shops in the region. The products, according to the regional head, were either expired, unregistered, or damaged. The FDA advises consumers to look out for registered products that are not damaged or dented when patronizing any product. The public is encouraged to also report any unscrupulous activities of regulatory concern to the office, saying that the FDA had a designated consumer complaint desk whose mandate was to receive complaints for necessary regulatory action to be taken. The FDA assures it would continue to collaborate with all relevant stakeholders to ensure public health and safety. So on foreign relations, Ghana has launched a 357-page book titled Contemporary Issues in Foreign Policy, Diplomacy and International Affairs. It is a collection of essays and online educational presentations hosted by the Council. The publication covers a broad spectrum of relevant topics in international affairs. It was launched at the International Conference Center in Accra.
The fundamental principles that guide Ghana's foreign policy are contained in her 1992 Constitution. Article 40 of the Constitution provides the broad principles of promoting and protecting the interest of Ghana, establishment of just and equitable international, economic, political and social order, with issues of concern in international affairs, and to better and appreciate Ghana's foreign policy, the Council on Foreign Relations Ghana, CFR Ghana, has launched its latest publication, Contemporary Issues in Foreign Policy, Diplomacy and International Affairs. It is a collection of essays and online educational presentations organized by the Council. The 357-page book with 18 chapters was launched by Supreme Court Judge Professor Henrietta Mensah Bonsu. She believes international affairs must be chronicled while it is in the making, else it ends up with interpretations and accounts which will be contradicted by reinterpretation. At the event, a Ghanaian diplomat, Mrs. Agnes Agre-Olins, said the book captures the thinking of a wide range of issues of the moment in international relations.
The publication is carefully and uniquely crafted in terms of the depth of substance as well as the flavor of the ensuing discussion. It is no ordinary handbook. It combines scholarship and reality, often providing perspectives which are thought-provoking and deepen our appreciation of the issues involved, not only at the level of international relations, but also at the national level.
A lecturer at the Lagos Center for International Affairs and Diplomacy, Dr. Frederick Boama, said it is important for Africans to tell their own story.
This book, therefore, is one of the many attempts to fill this gap, and as noted by one of the authors at page 142 of the book, and I quote, Learning across time requires literacy, the ability to record what you have done in a way that future generations can read and build on. It is a sort of an integral part of advanced human learning.
The president of CPR Ghana, Ambassador D.K. Osei, who gave the foreword of the book, said one of the objectives of the council is to occupy the vacant space in international relations, foreign policy and diplomacy by its contributions in the field. Some diplomats were awarded with copies of the publication.
You're watching News Hour live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. We are also live on Facebook at GBC Ghana. Do stay. Business is next.
From the 1st to the 31st July 2023 and get extra 88% bonus all over GBC platforms. The benefits are valid till September 30, 2023. 88 at 88. Love them new GBC. Terms and conditions apply. Contact us on 0303 959 604 or 0303 959 605 and by email sales@gbcghanaonline.com. 88 at 88.
Live coverage of the 57th International Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community. Join us for this unique event founded on true Islamic principles. A truly international event, uniting mankind under the banner of peace, love and harmony. Tune in for the live coverage of Jalsa Salana UK 2023, the annual convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community. Watch live coverage on the 28th, 29th and 30th July 2023 at the following
88 at 88. It's raining great goodies and value all over Ghana. GBC is 88 years old, and for every business you do on any GBC platform in anniversary month of July, you get 88% extra value. 88 at 88. Do business with us from the 1st to the 31st July 2023 and get extra 88% bonus all over GBC platforms. The benefits are valid till September 30, 2023. 88 at 88. Love the new GBC. Terms and conditions apply. Contact us on 0303 959 604 or 0303 959 605 and by email sales@gbcghanaonline.com. 88 at 88.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. The private sector is the hotbed for innovation and the launch pad for startups driven by the youth. In Ghana, the story is not different, with the Africa Youth for Sustainability Development spearheading a move to reward the youth with innovative ideas to promote sustainability in the marketplace.
Currently, more than 60% of Africa's population is under the age of 25. By 2030, young Africans are expected to constitute 42% of global youth. For policymakers on the continent, this poses a challenge, especially with millions of job seekers waiting in line. Importantly, there have been concerns about how to equip the youth for an increasingly evolving knowledge economy. This has birthed the recognition that Africa's education programs must be reimagined to nurture the entrepreneurial spirit that benefits society. To this end, the Africa Youth for Sustainable Development has become the change agents to empower the youth in their various communities. They have recognized the youth who have created innovations geared towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. The head of legal department at the Food and Drugs Authority, Mr. William Agbevito, called on the youth to think outside the box and collaborate with their peers in other countries.
This vision is a vision being championed by the youth, the people that holds the future. We are graying, or as we put it, we are aging. The future actually belongs to you. And it is very beautiful, a good thing to see you champion this wonderful cause.
The founder of the African Youth for Sustainable Development, Mr. Samuel Apeti, spoke to GBC News.
We measure by their impact level in society, the duration of their programs that they are carrying out in society, and then we also measure by the feedback from society, what people think about what those awardees are doing in society.
The Sustainable Development Excellence Awards recognizes individuals, organizations and projects that have made significant contributions to sustainable development across various sectors, including agriculture, energy, education, healthcare and conservation.
Also in business, local food production was impacted by the increase in fertilizer prices, which are mostly imported. This translated to an increase in food prices last year due to imported inflation. According to a World Bank senior economist, Mr. Paul Andres, the higher food prices coupled with an increase in energy tariffs negatively affected household incomes in 2022.
The main issue with this is that in September, the 1st of September, in the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, they revised the structure of the tariffs. And so the lifeline tariff was reduced from 50 kilowatt hours to 30 kilowatt hours. But not only that, but as soon as you went over 30 kilowatt hours, now you no longer benefited from the lower price for the first 30 kilowatt hours that you consumed. Now, this makes sense. I mean, those first 30 kilowatt hours should protect the poor who are basically consuming. Although 30 kilowatt hours doesn't really buy you much electricity, for once. And for second, if you by any chance forgot to turn off your lights or anything like that, you immediately could go up to 31 kilowatt hours, and basically your bill, your electricity bill, would double. If you're living on subsistence level, that is quite a shock to your household, right? It basically means you can't afford the school fees for your kids, you can't take them for that medical checkup, or you can't buy as much food.
We go to the Interbank Forex market and bring you updates on how the cedi is performing. That was business. There is more news when we return from this break. Stay with us.
There are strong women whose stories teach us perseverance, logic, decisiveness, and self-confidence. Being strong is not just about physical abilities.
commitments to deepen ties of cooperations and the bonds of friendship that exist between their countries, as well as to continue to explore areas of mutual interest for the benefits of their respective populations. This came up when President Akufo-Addo met with his Italian counterpart in Rome on Friday, July 21, 2023. We are having a challenge playing that video. I'll bring it back again once we have it all sorted out. You're watching News Hour live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. We'll be back shortly. Please do stay. Bissau's government has ordered the suspension of teachers' salaries to weed out fraudulent claims on the payroll from fictitious workers. The tiny West African country that depends largely on external aid to meet salaries in the education sector has declared a war on ghost civil servants in order to curb its wage bill. A July 18 decision by the country's Council of Ministers that was published on Thursday also instructed the Education Ministry to carry out a census of the number of its employees. The decision will affect some 8,000 teachers in the country's primary and secondary schools who earn an average around 50,000 CFA franc per month. The decision drew threats of action from a teaching union, the International Monetary Fund, which reached a staff-level agreement for a $3.16 million extended credit facilities for Guinea-Bissau in May, says the government missed 3 of its 8 economic reform targets that were due in March. Questions are being asked about the role of the police in the ghastly incident where 2 women were paraded naked by a mob of men in India's Manipur state. A video of the incident, which took place on May 4, went viral on Wednesday and caused global outrage. On Thursday, police opened a case of gang rape, arrested 4 men, and said they would be making more arrests soon. But many are asking why it took them so long to act. A police complaint had been lodged just days after the incident, and many of the men are clearly identifiable in the footage. Also, a damning detail that has emerged from the written complaint filed by a relative of one of the women is that the mob allegedly took the survivors from police custody. and 2 of the survivors have even accused the police of being present but not doing anything to help them. The police have not denied the accusations, and some media reports have quoted unnamed police officials as saying that they were outnumbered.
Good afternoon, let's talk sports. I am Theophilus Sampa. A 7-member Scrabble team have left the shores of Accra to Las Vegas, USA for the upcoming World English Language Scrabble Players Association WESPA 2023 World Scrabble Championship. The championship is from July 21 to 26. These are the 7-man team representing Ghana at this year's World English Language Scrabble Players Association WESPA 2023 World Scrabble Championship. They are leaving to Las Vegas, United States of America to compete with the best in the word game from 34 countries. Ghana's team is made up of Charles Hazel Tichimenson, Christian Isaac Mensah, George Ado, Victor Amate, Fatal Benyinan, CM Plaka, and the president, Mr. Haruna Adamu. The president of the Ghana Scrabble Association, Mr. Haruna Adamu, said they had to fund the travel from their limited resources.
It's very, very crucial because for us now, we have 3 slots, and with these guys here, we have 2 also on the way coming. We want to make a statement that we can get the 5th slot. So everyone you see here is very, very, very well versed to sort of help us bring those slots back. And not just those slots. We're gunning to be in the first 10. This one, I'll say it loud and clear. It's just for the beneficiary of our players, a few sponsors, NSC 0, other places 0. It's just for the lovers of Scrabble. They went deep into their pockets, and a few companies we've advertised them on our jerseys. They came to help us out. So we are taking this opportunity to beg government. I mean, you've left Scrabble. They've left Scrabble as an orphan sport, you know, and this is a very a serious mind game. So we are by this interview reaching out to government to help us. We beg them.
Some players promised to leave an indelible mark at the championship.
It's a statement tournament that we are going to play in. We have the squad is the best that we can assemble so far, and this makes me feel that we'll go all out and then outperform even Nigeria, which is termed as the biggest Scrabble nation in the world.
Last year, the team Ghana was 3rd in Zambia, Lusaka, at the Africa Scrabble Championships. And this year, we are well placed to actually do a step further. And by step further, I mean that we are actually going to compete for the ultimate. And if I'm not mincing words, I'm very confident in myself and then my colleagues that we are going to bring home the ultimate.
The mark that we have to leave behind is to increase our slots. If not for any other reason, we don't really stay within the upper bracket. We need to increase our slots for Ghana as a team, so that for the next group that will make it up, we should be more than 6.
The World Scrabble Championship is the most prestigious title in competitive English language Scrabble. A US-based sports charity organization, Soccer for Dreamers, have extended a helping hand to female footballers to pursue their dreams and not be hampered by their monthly menstrual cycles and all its challenges. In this regard, the entity has donated some menstrual cups and other health kits and playing gears to some female footballers and teams in Chibi in the Eastern region. Profit organization owned by 3 brothers, Baruch, Jed, and Kaden Akwabwa. Soccer for Dreamers charity project supports young football lovers in Ghana to pursue their dreams. The three brothers and a team of experts on Thursday, July 20, 2023, traveled to Chebi in the Eastern region to donate soccer equipment to all 6 Southern Zone Women's Division 1 clubs currently battling for qualification to the Women's Premier League. The teams included FC Efifani, Jonina Ladies, Sea Lions, Anglo Ladies, Heart Sports, and Kotoku Rush Ladies. The gesture was to, among others, equip them to realize their dreams. The president of Soccer for Dreamers, Mrs. Sylvia Akwabwa, took beneficiaries through the proper ways in using the menstrual cups and how to manage their monthly menstrual cycles so that they can still take part in the sport actively. The gesture, according to Mrs. Sylvia Akwabwa, was in line with Soccer for Dreamers' code of supporting underprivileged ethnic groups in underserved areas in Ghana.
So it's important to practice safe menstrual hygiene. I think sometimes as women we forget the importance of menstrual hygiene, the word hygiene and why it's involved, because the whole area for the feminine, for the woman, is quite sensitive and delicate, and so it's important that we know that we need to wash our hands during our menstruation. We need to wash our hands before and after any management of any menstrual method that we use, and so we wanted these young women to be fully aware. We don't want them to have infection, and that is what happens when you don't practice menstrual hygiene.
The brothers, Baruch and Jade Akwabwa, said it felt good putting smiles on the faces of the female players.
It went very well. After last year going to Accra, I thought it was important to go to a different part of Ghana, and then the menstrual cup presentation, informing them of all the safety, and then being able to give them the boots and different types of football gear. I thought it was a great success today.
I've experienced a lot of players in my lifetime who, after their career is done, they just spend their money and they're done for their whole life. So I think Ubuntu is very important for these players to know what's next to do with their money, and then to invest it and to make more as their life progresses.
The brothers are expected to move to the Winton School Park in Winneba to donate soccer boots, jerseys and balls to some selected under-17 clubs.
It's time to lighten the news a bit with some news from the world of entertainment.
It's Friday, and this is how we do it. We flip through social media platforms in search of some interesting pictures, posts, or videos. And yes, we picked out a good choice just for your relaxation.
Everywhere they want to try, what I'm doing in a monk, the mama had my bad time, or more just going to a more time. The being able to say, I do by you, Mahama wants to now on try, and I said, I was now on try. I feel sure they're on my side, yes, yeah, chair move, and you move from swap. Then I had to mamma, the more fun, I will pay you. What's that boy in Achino? When I put that so low. Yet you see, Casco, and as you come on the yellow, I blame my control.
That's all in this packet. Thanks so much for making time for us. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a very good afternoon.